It is 6 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. All members are present with the exception of Cheryl and Bruce. I know Gerald's coming later. So we'll go right into communication items.
Right. Well, I will start by inviting our elementary principal up to hear what's happening. I'm actually gonna run over and flip on, can you just flip on the white light switch for me, please? It's been a little bit since we've heard from our building administrators, because July, we only have the one meeting, and so, let's hear what's happening at the elementary.
Yes, good evening. I just want to provide some summer highlights. Our building has been busy, filled with students and various activities throughout. We've hosted numerous community education classes, vacation Bible school, our PAWS program, I'm sure Chris will talk about. We also hosted our extended school year summer school to students, as well as other activities. So we've been busy. With that, our food service has also been very busy, serving over 3,500 breakfasts and, I can't read that far, 5,900 lunches during the months of June, July, and August. And so they are wrapping up this week in preparation for kitchen cleaning and services next week. So they've done a very nice job serving our students and community members as they come in over the summer. I just want to say thank you for all of their efforts. Also this summer, finishing up hiring and welcoming our new staff, which is, our new staff orientation is August 21st, so that's coming up. Looking forward to welcoming our newest Bulldog members to our team. Technology department, want to just say thank you to Leah and Caleb for their summer work, preparing for students to return and staff to return as well. And certainly recognizing custodial staff, Barry, Sandy, and Mary, and Ken, making sure that our building and grounds are ready for everybody to return, and while they were there over the summer. So they've done a nice job getting our space ready. Also this summer, Amy Spanier and I attended a training called Managing to Lead. That was a training for principals and office staff focusing on strategies for effective organization and collaboration, really streamlining the work that her and I do together to build efficiency and to be more effective along that teamwork line. So that was a great training. We both walked away with new strategies and ideas to refine some of our current strategies. So that was great. Also this summer, Mr. Rasmussen and I worked on the student handbook, just doing some updates that you'll hear about after a bit. Looking forward to the school year, I've included a link to our supply list for families, as well as information for our Welcome Back meet and greet, which you can see the dates and times there. That link went out to families to sign up for the meet and greet conference. That is 15 minutes allocated for their child to come in and meet the teacher and see their learning space for the year. We've had great attendance in the past, and I anticipate that again. So we're looking forward to that. Current enrollment, Amy has been busy in the office, accepting new enrollments, trickling in, and so you can kind of see tentative numbers right now for K-5, but more being added. I feel like each day she's sending an update to me with an email. Wanted to share out my goals, and I did take some time to refine my purpose statement. We, as an administrative team, last year did some work around our purpose statement and what is our why for the work that we do. And so my refined purpose statement is to live with authenticity and optimism, serving and empowering others to create a positive impact. My anchor, authenticity and optimism, stayed there, as well as serving and empowering others. So just worked on refining the wording there, but that's really my purpose in serving as elementary principal. I also wanted to provide goals for the school year. Similar to last year, working on our ELA curriculum and standard alignment, And also with MDE approving the new 2022 Minnesota math standards. So making sure that with staff that we're taking the time to learn what those shifts are and changes to the math standards that are coming out. In addition, social emotional behavioral, continuing with our PBIS and Character Strong, making sure that we're really providing tools and skill sets for the whole child, even outside of the academic realm. Looking at School of Excellence goals, we are still waiting to hear back from MESPA to see where we're at with that. I anticipate the end of the month or September, we should hear back. But regardless, we will move forward with our goals. The information that we derived from that process, and so you can see the kind of the top four. Making sure that every student has a strong adult connection, expanding family voice and engagement, expanding consistent and clear communication to our school community, and then to build learner ownership through goal setting. Those were our four big takeaways in that process, and so we have an action plan that will help us get to that point and achieve those goals. And then lastly, continuing with connections and culture, building those positive and effective relationships, students, staff, and the community. And then the images at the very bottom, just for families to take a peek at, and that middle one is for transportation needs, making sure that families are reaching out to the bus company to get that set up if needed. So, questions, comments as we gear up for welcome back?
Yes, your lunch numbers, how does that compare to like last year? Is it consistent? Is it growing or is it?
It's funny because when Lori came and gave me those numbers, we both asked the same thing. Oh, I wonder where we were last year. And I meant to go back to the board report this time last year and I completely forgot to do that. So I too had that same question.
Okay, yeah, it'd be interesting.
I unfortunately can't speak to it because I didn't go back.
All right, thank you so much, appreciate that. We'll invite up Mr. Rasmussen. Jesse, come on up and let's hear what's happening at the secondary.
All right, good evening, everybody. We have had a great summer. It's been a busy summer for us as well. As Cassie alluded to, it'd be hard pressed to find a day where the building's empty and there's nothing going on. And so it's been a really busy, fun summer. In the office, we've been doing a lot of planning and preparing and kind of dreaming about all the things that we can do. And so we are excited and ready to start the school year and get things in motion. So just a fun energy to this time of the year as we prepare to get everything going. I want to make sure I extend my gratitude to Ken, Brad, Dave, Sandy, and Steven for all of their hard work this summer. It is no small task to get all of the rooms pulled out, everything finished down, and then re-waxed. The building looks great, and we are so excited to fill these rooms with students again and show off our beautiful spaces. We do have, Cassie mentioned too, that we have our new staff orientation on August 21st. We've brought on some new Bulldog team members that I'm excited to welcome into the fold and get them ready to go for the next school year during that new staff orientation. And then some staffing updates. We're currently hiring 2 positions. We're still looking for a vocal music teaching position and a food service position, but I'm excited to say we have interviews scheduled for both of those positions this week. So progress is getting some traction on those ones. So some updates to the 25-26 school year. We are gearing up for the start of the school year with our secondary open house on Wednesday, August 27th from 5 to 7. I just want to encourage families to attend. It's a great time to walk around, to get to go to your class, go to the classes, see the schedule, see the building, see all the cool spaces we have, visit the Innovation Center, walk down to the PAC if you haven't been down there, just really get to see the cool things that we have to offer here at Paynesville. I did want to take a minute to update you on the schedule. So last year we kind of embarked on this journey. We had kind of rolled in motion this 5-period day, and we moved away from having English and math to half a year, but having it every other day all year. And so I just wanted to update you and let you know that that's going to be continuing this year. We felt like we had good momentum with that schedule, and we just want to continue with that momentum and build on the great things that we're already doing. We started again last year. We began lead time. where we started doing interventions for 6th through 8th graders. And so we are gonna be continuing with the lead time program this year. And our hope is we're gonna expand it now again to 9th grade. So we're gonna continue building on the program that we have and building that and bring more people into the intervention space. So just really cool things that we have going on. As Cassie alluded to, she had some goals for the school year, and I wanted to share with you my goals here. My first goal is to kind of expand the lead time and intervention programming. We talked a lot last year about expanding interventions to math, and so we've done some things to build math in. We built some time into the schedule for our math teachers to have intervention time, and so we really wanted to support math students as well as reading students. So both of those core areas to kind of build up on that. Our goal is 70% of students to meet or exceed their growth targets by the spring benchmark. So is our goal for this year for lead time. And so I think it's a very achievable goal for us, and I'm excited to see us work towards it. Last year, we also started Character Strong and SEL over here. We'd been doing another SEL program, and we just started Character Strong, and some of the curriculum we didn't bring on until a little ways into the year. So my second goal is around Character Strong and SEL curriculum. I just want to make sure that that's fully implemented and running, and that we are doing that with fidelity and consistent weekly lessons. I'm excited to really build on Character Strong stuff. And then we also like Cassie last year, we brought on a new 6th through 8th grade ELA curriculum this year. And so my third goal is around that, to effectively implement the new 6th through 8th grade language arts curriculum in all of our middle school ELA classes. And this will be our first year that we're implementing that. I'm excited to see us build on that. So, any questions or?
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment for Cassie and for you, Jesse. I thank you so much for sharing your goal. And it means a lot as far as looking at your leadership skills and stuff, to number one, share them to the school board. So we have something that's benchmarking that we're looking at where you're at, but more importantly, also to the public, to those folks out there. Because I know you've already shared those with Janelle, as far as being the leader and how you do that type of stuff. But that is just really awesome that you're able to, as far as your leadership, able to let the public know this is where we plan on going, so they can look at where their child is, where their students are at, and are you through them meet your goals. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right, so let's hear what's been happening in our activities department.
Here we go. First practice has started up today for 7th through 12th grade cross country. I was up this morning on the track, 9th through 12th grade volleyball, and then 9th through 12th grade football. And then junior high volleyball, junior high football will start on the first day of school, September 2nd. So it's exciting to see all those kids walking through the halls today, and I was in my office and I could hear the volleyball players down in the gym cheering and chanting away and clapping and all that stuff. So a lot of energy. Chris Wolfel, Tim Patrick, Nicole Hummer are all back as our head coaches for cross-country football and our volleyball programs. Volleyball already has a scrimmage scheduled later this week that we're going to be hosting. That'll be down in the PAC and in the high school gym. So great to have. I think we have 6 teams total participating from like 9 until 1 o'clock. So it's awesome that we're using all of our spaces. Homecoming, we're getting that kind of in the works here pretty soon with homecoming all week, but it's like 8 days. So it's September 15th through September 23rd. And the reason that it went an extra couple days is because our cross-country meet is right after that Thursday, Friday volleyball, football homecoming date on the schedule. So we figured we better include those cross-country runners and highlight our program there in our home meet that we have on September 23rd. So we can include all 3 of our varsity sports for the fall. We had an activities meeting last night in the auditorium at 7 o'clock for all of our sports and activities for 7th to 12th grade students and families. So it was great to see a lot of people in the building getting their forms and fees taken care of right away. And then just want to conclude by thanking all those people that came. We had a speaker last night, Paul Merrick. He is going to be our new sideline trainer during football games. He's also helping us out with trying to find additional coverage for other events throughout the school year. And he'll be working together with Will Burning, who was helping us last year. And those guys are dedicating their time and giving donating it to us. And we really appreciate them being there and giving us coverage. And Paul talked last night about the importance of diagnosing injuries and treating those injuries so the athlete is safe, so we can get on the proper road to recovery as soon as possible, and hopefully back on the field and back on the court. So yeah, they'll be with us throughout the year, and then we have some other people trying to help us out finding coverage as well. So, any questions?
All right, thanks so much, appreciate the update. Right. Let's find out what's happening in community ed. So Chris, come on up. Give us the community ed update. Thanks.
Right, well, we've had a busy summer. The weather hasn't been always so kind to our programs. We had a lot of outdoor activities that had to get rescheduled, canceled, moved. They played makeup games and had 2 or 3, maybe 4 games in a row. So it was challenging in that aspect with the weather and with having multiple teams and multiple leagues to try to, get that taken care of. But we made it through. In rec and enrichment over the summer, we had offered 35 classes, 29 of them went. For our fiscal year, we offered 172 different classes and activities with 161 classes running. So we had just over 2,100 participants. I didn't put the other status that was 1,000, just a little over 1,000 were repeats. So there was quite a few people that just, individual ones as well. Pause program, we have such a good staff. They're offering themed-based activities. They're trying to keep kids busy and active and safe and so, we've just had a good summer. A little challenging to be outside. It's either too wet, too smoky, or too hot. So we are trying our best to be outside, but we did bring in some events. We had the wildlife safari, the Raptor Center, the Big Fun shows tomorrow. I think it's a magician, so I'm not sure exactly what that's gonna be. And then we had one off-site field trip where we went to the Dorothy Olson Aquatic Center. We also partnered with the library, so that one picture in the corner is a little makerspace activity. They brought a group, 2 artists in, and they just brought all kinds of recyclable material. Those kids were making all kinds of interesting sculptures with, like things we throw away. So who knew that was, now that's all the supplies I'm gonna have for pause, it's just garbage. No, just kidding. They enjoyed that, it was super fun. Another thing we did this summer, we had our playground build. It was truly a community event. I have been in community ed a long time, and this was probably one of my top community projects that I've done or that we've done. But just been a part of. There were volunteers and people in this room. There were volunteers and workers from the school district, Ken and his crew, and Janelle was there, and we had a couple board members there. Businesses, they showed up. The community foundation sent a bunch of people. Dustin and his crew from the recovery center, we could not have finished without them, because that was, we started the project on the 23rd, and the weather called for torrential rain on Wednesday. And so we just worked really hard and got everything in the 2 days. Ken got somebody with cement to come in so we could get that in before it rained. And so it was a great undertaking. There's more to be done, and if the weather cooperates, we can try to get it to be finished. But the goal is to be finished when school starts. That is the hope, that it will have the flooring in and the curb and the fence piece in. So that is our hope. But that's just a couple pictures. I I couldn't believe we got it done in the 2 days, honestly. The guy in the yellow in that second picture was the person sent from Flagship, and he was just like, wow, you guys got that done in 2 days. I mean, just, so it was a good undertaking.
So the flooring isn't in yet?
No, not yet.
No, we have to have the curbing put in and we had to do some drainage work.
Then the Rural Childcare Initiative Program, and Janelle just talked about that a little bit prior to the meeting, but we're, this is a group of people in the community that we're talking about childcare, you know, the struggles and the lack of it, and maybe hoping that we could maybe come up with some solutions and some ideas. So 2 events will be happening. There'll be the childcare provider appreciation event, that's on the 22nd. I believe that is at the brewery.
Corona's Brewing.
Corona's Brewery. And then the town hall meeting. Town hall meeting's open for anyone that wants to be involved and just talk about solutions and plans, and so that's gonna be held on November 3rd at Cronos Hills Retreat Center. So one of the things we're asking people, employers, parents, community members, is we actually have a childcare survey, and that's the QR code that's right there. People can take that survey, and the data from the survey will be the conversations that will lead the conversations on November 3rd. So if people have questions, send them our direction. We really need to hear from people in the community regarding this topic. So
does that go out in the press and on Facebook then, where they can get access?
So it'll be going out in the press. It'll also
went in my catalog.
it's gone in the catalog. I'm gonna send it directly via the school district to the parents. But the survey closes October 31st. So some of that we didn't want it to get lost in the summer busyness. So we're hoping to get that out within the next few weeks while it's kind of fresh in the mind of back to school, and we can get that out. So, yeah.
I put up a display in the pack that people, as the pack gets busier, it's just something to look at. It has, a lot of that information that we just talked about, but just we're also trying to promote it at the concerts. So Gerald and I have been in the back and handed out some of our little business cards and things for people. So we're starting, and like Janelle said, it's the 31st is a good ways away. We want people to really, want to focus on that as it gets closer. So.
One other piece to add is that there is a survey that's also going to our employers in town to understand what their experience is around childcare as well. And so that's just something because it's twofold. It's a family's experience and it's a business experience. So that information is going out, and then so that might be the other survey that people see.
The Pack and Fitness Center, we just had it's summer, it was busy, there were classes and camps and because the weather has been crazy, we've had a lot of pickleballers that are still coming, so it was we didn't really have downtime in the Pack like we kind of normally do in the summer. A little bit lately, like afternoon it's kind of a, nobody sounds, so if you need quiet time, come to the Pack in the afternoon, that's a good location, so. And then we're moving to trying to update our software or our membership software, so it allows for our members to manage their accounts online. I'm pretty sure there'll be an online feature to buy a membership. So those are some things we're gonna be trying to implement here in the next couple months. Well, now to fall. The catalog came out at just right at the end of July, beginning of August. So we are getting registrations in all our classes like we normally would, so that's been nice. Our preschool, we have 2 sections of 3-year-olds, which is full, and 3 sections of 4-year-olds, which still has some room in it. So I'm hoping that there might be a few parents out there looking for some preschool opportunities for their kids. I sent a link for our parents to participate in the online portal that we have for campus. I think Leah will talk about that in more detail, but our preschool families got to kind of go through that process. We had a few bumps and, you know, little things we had to fix, but I think I haven't really heard a whole lot. I think overall it was a good process, so we will, more to come on that, but that allows parents to not get, you know, inundated with paperwork. They could just go in and fill out their family accounts and get that set up. We have early childhood family ed, 2 classes. Hopefully they'll pick up on the registrations. We are offering a multi-age for 0 to 2 and then a preschool prep for 2 and 3-year-olds. Pause, we have just over 75 students registered. There's a few on the wait list. I'm working on some staffing, but once I can get that, then we can clear the wait list. Usually we do, it just makes parents panic a little, so. This year we're participating in the meet and greet, so we are not having childcare during September 2nd, which is new. We typically had childcare, but then parents would come in and wanna ask a ton of questions of the staff members and they were busy working with kids. So we felt like that, this would be a good opportunity for our staff to be involved in the meet and greets and answer parents' questions and so that's new this year. So our first day of service is September 3rd. And then finally, just to something that in the horizon, we have the homecoming tailgate party, and so I'm coordinating that. And last year, admin staff, we did all the cooking and serving, and then along with some helpers from the American Legion. So Paynesville American Legion is sponsoring and partnering with us again. So we are getting ready to plan and get that event ready to go. I'm sure there's more, but I just can't think of it.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, any questions?
All right, thank you. Okay, buildings and grounds. Ken, let's hear what's going on in the world of buildings and grounds.
Oh, good evening. First of all, big shout out to them folks that came out and helped clean up all the trees and the mess around. Oh my gosh, we get a lot of work done in a short period of time. That was awesome. So huge shout out. So playground over there, I was told late last week that the fence is gonna ship this week, or we should have it this week, so that we can keep moving forward with that whole project. I've been kinda waiting on that. So I'm hoping that happens. I've been working on that science room, it's been abated. Waiting for a couple quotes for cabinets, doors should be coming here shortly to get that installed. Moving right along slowly, surely, so looks weird with nothing in it. I do have that cement work in there to do, we're gonna polish it. We did where the door was gonna go, I had the staff go in and just do that area and it looks really nice, I think. So, and I did have a tour this summer of a different school that has 100% concrete that's polished. And they are absolutely adamant that that's the best way, best thing, and maintenance free and just easy. So, the more we can do of that, the happier I'll be. So, been working on the stadium, we've had them leaks, that's been a kind of a thorn. I've got a lot of that flashing up, about half done already. So in my spare time I go out and I got Brad out there helping a little bit and we keep putting up some flashing, keep the water out, try to get that all fixed. Found a big leak down by the auditorium. I've got a fan in the back room. So I'm gonna have to have some patches put on up there. That's on that 2001 roof. So I actually contacted Roof One. I thought they did such a nice job, and he says, "Yep, send somebody out and patch it up." So, got the parking lots lights figured out. It did take them twice to come out. It was a programming issue. They think it was from maybe a power outage from the lightning strike or something. She had to go back. She downloaded the whole system, took it back to their techs, and yeah, kind of crazy, but I don't see them on, and it actually ended up being just, somehow it linked up to one of the motion lights sensors inside the building, so that's why they would come on at ungoofy times as soon as they would walk in. The parking lights would come on. So something little, just dumb stuff like that, fun. So, and then, yeah, I'm still struggling with lawnmowers. I do have another one down again, the grasshopper. Just keeping that on your guys' radar. They've been down. I've been having, one of them was just an oil line. Just took a little bit to get the oil line back in because of the way it's mounted and stuff. And they want forever. They want a lot of money to do the work, so I just take it on myself and get her done, so.
It's been so dry, I didn't think you guys had on all this.
It's unreal how many hours we put on the mowers. It's crazy. So I gotta give a shout out to them too.
Had to throw that in there.
Oh my God,
Agreed.
them guys are doing awesome. And if you look, it's always trimmed. It's always, they have done a nice job. So that's, all I've got. Any questions?
Kim, do you, you said that there's some cement work and there's a fence, is that something that's contract? Do you guys need any?
I'm gonna do it myself. Yeah, I'm gonna call that, Dustin. Dustin. I'm gonna call him, for sure to help.
Okay, if,
And then,
send a
when
text.
it comes, I can send you a
Send
text.
a text, I guess. I
See,
didn't know.
I know Gerald had talked to me already, said he'd come and help. Yeah, we're gonna form that up, push the post and form it up. Drill another hole for that water problem that we have. And, get some rock over there and so on, so.
I had to give you that lawnmower and get digs.
I think we're all feeling the pain.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ken. All right, and then we'll invite Leah Michaelis up to kind of give a update on what's been happening with technology.
Thank you. So the technology department has had a really productive and forward-moving summer. For the first time, we successfully kept all the student Chromebooks in-house over the summer, so this allowed us more efficient maintenance in preparation for the fall deployment. This has helped streamline the repairs, hopefully reduce our turnaround time, and better support the students and staff for upcoming school year. We've also purchased a more rugged version of our Chromebooks this year in hopes that we have less screen repairs. That's our biggest, most common repair. So any luck, that works this year. The incoming 6th and 9th graders are those that get the new devices this year, so they'll be our testers on that. Our plan is to redistribute the Chromebooks during the secondary open house, as was mentioned. I'm really pleased to welcome a new team member to the technology department. Caleb Freeler started at the beginning of July, and he's already strengthened our ability to respond to daily tech needs as well as long-term projects across the district, so it's been great to have him. Additionally, we've been implementing the new online registration platform, which Chris referred to. The preschool was our soft opening for enrollments. The online registration, it's a process for families it's designed to improve our data accuracy and to simplify the registration process for families and reduce the workload on office staff during the busy back to school season. We did the soft pull with the preschool and hoping very soon to open it up for all students. Current parents will be able to access online registration through their parent portal, and new families will be able to access through a link on our district website. And that's the highlights of our summer. We're looking forward to another great school year.
So I just want to add one thing in regards to the online registration. The number of hours and the troubleshooting and the problem solving that Leah and Miranda and Cassandra have done is just, it has just been a lot. And I'm excited to have updated information that's consistent, accurate, and parents are gonna be able to have, they'll be able to do an annual update, so it is smoother for our current families. But the amount of back and forth was just a lot. So thank you to Leah and her team, because that was a heavy lift. Thank you. Okay, any other questions for technology?
Thank you.
All right. All right, so as you can see, lots of development over the course of the summer, which has been great, so, thank you for all those updates.
So we will move on to handbook presentations.
Okay. So I don't know if Mr. Rasmussen and Mrs. Dickerson did paper, rock, scissors, but whoever is going to come on up and update the district handbook, do you want me to open the handbook or the overview?
Maybe just the overview.
I got it, Sherry.
You're gonna get both of us again. so-
Yeah, we paper, rock, scissors, and end up with both. So
I like it.
we tied.
There you go.
So as you probably remember or recall, we went through a fairly major rewrite to our handbook last year, where previous years we had both an elementary and a secondary handbook. And last summer, we set apart the task of combining them and creating a district handbook. So what you're gonna see this year is considerably less updates, more so just some updating of language and things like that and stuff. And Cass will start by walking through some of our changes, but that's the reason why you're not seeing a whole lot of updates is because of the major revision last year.
So we just made some formatting corrections, things that stood out to us this time around as we were fine tooth combing it. So you'll see some of those. Certainly updating personnel and contact information. Newest board members have been added in there. That's updated. We have a lot of active links throughout the handbook, so Jesse checked all of those and made sure those went to the right spot. And then looking at, we had an MTSS section, and so we added the personal learning plans in there. So that was an addition, just kind of spelling out what those are and when families can expect to receive those.
Some other changes, we looked at some language around early graduation and just clarified some of our procedure around students who decide to graduate early. We added some language into our dress code language that kind of talks about some administrative and teacher discretion along with the dress code. Some field trips, we also added some statements about some participation and how students may not be able to participate or participate in field trips. And then finally, we noticed that we wanted to make sure that what was in the handbook was consistent with what our current practices in our emergency binder, and so we updated some of the safety procedures in there to closely align with our emergency binder.
Any questions for either Mr. Rasmussen or Mrs. Akerson regarding handbook?
So thank you, getting all that stuff combined to get it.
Yes, thank you.
This is something, yeah.
Great.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Activities, Mr. Hendrickson, this is gonna be a big one.
It's pretty quiet on that front. I just went through and updated those links, much like our principals were just saying. I went through on the bottom, we have all of our coaches, where we have all of our coaches and advisors and things like that for some positions that we have open and some new head coaches that we've hired and assistants and things like that. So I didn't make any major revisions or anything, just kind of updated everything with what we currently have, so.
Any questions regarding activities? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Pause and preschool. We'll do those kind of back to back, so you can let me know which one you.
One you put up first.
I'll pull pause first, because that's the one that was first in line.
Perfect. Actually, there's not a whole lot of changes, like my colleagues just updated information, especially around with the addition of early release to just, let parents know what happens on an early release, whether that is weather or a planned early release. So there's not a lot of changes in the pause book.
I guess I was gonna ask you before, your pause, you had 108 registered last summer. How does that compare to like last year, the year before?
About the same.
About the same?
Yep, they're run about the same, and it's it's by maybe a few, there's not a significant growth or loss anyways. This is our preschool and wraparound. I put them together because wraparound care is, we call it Little Paws, but it is a preschool programming, so it helps families have a full day event. And I really focused more on the 2-hour late starts, 2-hour release, and we just had to clarify some busing, so to make it consistent, so that we're able to make sure that, you know, kids have a routine and our staff have the routine down, so we know where kids are. So it was just more of kind of cleaning up and clarifying what about busing. So
So I know that the preschool one just came in. If there are any questions that come up between now and the end of the month, just let me know. But there were the revisions were surrounding the transportation. And so we just wanted to confirm with our bus company that we were all on the same page, so. All right, oh my gosh, and then it comes to me, the employee handbook. The employee handbook too, has, you know, like the personnel updates and board members, let me share that. And then, really what you're gonna notice for 2 key areas, they're just highlighted with new. I guess I did clean up the table of contents a little bit because it was a little bit messy. And I put the right leave of absence pieces in there. So when you come down to the Minnesota paid family medical leave, that is really acknowledging the fact that as of January 2026, that leave takes effect. There are many details yet to be confirmed and worked out. So really it's just linking the biggest, probably most helpful resource in this handbook is going to be the link to DEED's website to keep track of all of the latest information surrounding the Minnesota Paid Leave Program. And then similarly, just linked in the earned safe and sick time information that we've specifically kind of received over the course of the last year. So we have our employee notice in there. Again, you're gonna see where to find the most updated information, which is also a hyperlink to the earned safe and sick time. Again, trying to really make sure that this handbook is a resource, just like the others talked about, having as many things hyperlinked to direct sources as possible. So those are 2 of the biggest updates throughout the handbook. Other than that, again, it's this is in draft form, so if there's anything that comes up between now and the end of August, please let me know. But calendar's been updated, staff personnel have been updated, and those 2 new sections were added. Any questions on that? Okay.
We'll move on to the administrative retreat.
Okay, so last year at this meeting, I talked a little bit about what our administrative team had done. And Cassie referenced it a little bit where we did a lot of work with Cinder Kampoff's Beyond Grit. So this year, we are working through the Working Genius. And so if anyone is familiar with Patrick Lencioni, and I'm sorry if somebody is Italian and I butchered that, but I owned it until all of a sudden I was halfway through and thought, that's probably not right, but that's okay, that's all right. So here's really what the gist of this is. Let me get down to the second page and then I'm gonna share it. Because what this book is all about is really about maximizing our efficiency as a team and playing off of one another's strengths. So in essence, all of us, we operate with 2 primary kind of geniuses and things that are our go-to capabilities that we just thrive in. And then we have 2 that if we had to live in them all the time, we'd probably be pretty inefficient. We'd probably not be very happy to be around because they're stressful. We don't feel like we're in our best effort. And as you can see through this little diagram, the power of a team is how you all work together and how your cogs keep moving in a positive direction. So you'll see that we have wonder, invention, discernment, galvanizing, enablement, and tenacity. And so if you kind of wonder, well, what are those things? On the bottom half of this, it kind of gives a little short summary of what each one is. So as a for instance, the genius of wonder is the natural gift of pondering the possibility of great potential and opportunity in a given situation. People with this genius are constantly curious and on the lookout for what could be improved. Does anybody have any idea what one of my letters is? I'm a W, okay? That's one of my areas. So what we're going to be doing this week is working with a facilitator who has done extensive work surrounding maximizing team efficiency and how we can build upon one another's strengths to really complete the projects that need to be taken care of throughout the district. So I'm excited for the opportunity, and throughout the course of the year, we'll continue our work on these skills and these geniuses, and I have a hunch I'll probably bring them back to the board at various points throughout. But it's gonna be fun to see how we all come together as a team. So that's what's happening on the 13th of August. Okay, any questions?
Not a question, just a comment on that, you know, I think it's a fantastic tool to use and start building relationship with, especially the new team members that are coming on, the new staff, but also taking a look at the old staff and then see how those strengths and weaknesses play to just greater enhance how that learning experiences with the students that come through here and where they end up at some time. I know when we go to the school board conference in January, as far as that, there are some boards that do talk about having a school board retreat, and maybe that's something that we could talk about as far as our school board.
Yeah.
Finding out where our strengths and weaknesses are, how we can work together to have a more dynamic board. But I'm just throwing that out there. You know?
Yeah. I do think it's fun to know what a person's strengths are and how they're naturally drawn to look at a problem or problem solve. And especially, you know, when you talk about things that can be really complex, like budgets and, you know, some of the things that somebody might be, what their strength might be about, inventing, you know, like figuring, like, let's figure out all these things, but somebody else might be like, well, but this could be a possibility, and you've got a galvanizing person who's like, okay, let's just get it done, let's just go, let's just make it happen, and it can be really frustrating for somebody who's saying, let's go, let's get it happen, and then you got somebody over here wondering, you know, saying, well, but we could do it this way, or we could do it this way, and so I agree. I think there's a lot of value in that, and I'd certainly be willing to entertain that if there's a desire at the board level. So.
Yeah.
A little interest, I would say.
Okay.
I think it's something.
From a few of us, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
get to talk about that.
Great. Okay. Moving on to recognition days for Paynesville area schools.
So you will see this updated from last year was the first year that we really kind of pulled together just formalized recognition days to make sure that we don't miss people, but yet also just trying to be cognizant that as a, for instance, there's a food service worker day, and then there's the National Foods Week. So there's multiple ways that you can celebrate and recognize the individuals throughout the district, and so this is just a kind of a formalized list. The one component that I will call out that may or may not, we don't have the formal week of paraprofessional week, because that generally comes out pretty, it's fairly late and kind of last minute, but please know that we intend to recognize paraprofessional week when that is formally proclaimed. And for any questions on that?
Hearing none, request for information at a roundtable.
No, I'd just like to say as a board member, you know, going into my third year, working with, the staff here, things I've been involved in, you know, just slowly kind of gaining traction. I know one of the things that they talk about, you know, the first 2 years, you're kind of in that wonderment, just really trying to get your feet wet and stuff. I definitely experienced that. But working, with, members here as far as staff members, Janelle, working with board members on certain things, you know, outside of board stuff. Definitely working with Chris over at the PAC, different projects through PACF, through the Legion, working with Rick and his team with Legion Baseball. This is just one wonderful group of people to be associated with. And I hope that there's you know students out there, and I hope that there's parents out there to understand that this school really means a lot to this community. And every member, whether it be an administrative person, whether it be a teacher, you know, some type of staff member, or even those guys like Kenny and his crew, which I really enjoy working with them also. They really put their heart into what they do. So I just want to just a shout out from the organizations that I'm involved in. Thank you for this school, thank you for the community, and definitely, Janelle, thank you for the staff that's here as well.
And a shout out to you, Gerald. You're involved in a lot of things, tip my hat to you.
It is nice to have a supportive community and to feel, you know, I think it was when Gerald asked about the cleanup, and Ken was really overwhelmed, and there was just a lot, and it was really nice to know that our community comes to the school, and they bring not only financially do they support our school district, but they support our school district in multiple ways, and so we are grateful for our community. That's a great way. It feels good.
Especially when we go through hard times.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
We are adjourned.
All right, thank you.